Hi, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to TCM, where we're heading into the back half of a Joan Crawford double feature. We just had Crawford playing what she considered her most vicious role in the 1955 noirish melodrama Queen Bee. Up next, Crawford stars in the film she made right after Queen Bee. From Columbia Pictures in 1956, directed by Robert Aldrich, Autumn Leaves. It's the story of a lonely middle-aged stenographer, that's Crawford, who reluctantly falls for a much younger man played by Cliff Robertson. Their happiness is interrupted as his past traumas begin to catch up with him. This was Joan Crawford's first time working with director Robert Aldrich, who cast her again 6 years later in the camp classic Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, opposite Crawford's arch-rival Bette Davis. The Crawford-Aldrich relationship got off to a somewhat rocky start, as described in the new Joan Crawford biography, Joan Crawford, A Woman's Face, by our friend Scott Iman. Crawford had a long list of requests for her wardrobe, her hair, and her makeup, as well as her dressing room. But instead of going through her agent, she went right to Aldrich, who was accommodating, until Crawford demanded script rewrites. There, Aldrich stood his ground, refusing to even allow Crawford's writer on the set. But Crawford came to respect Aldrich, especially when he became emotional watching Crawford's performance in a critical scene. After that, she referred to him as my director. Joan Crawford's birth year has long been questioned, but according to Scott Iman's book, it was either 1905 or 1906. That puts her at either 49 or 50 when she made Autumn Leaves. Cliff Robertson was 32, a perfectly appropriate age difference for the story. It was not easy, of course, for middle-aged actresses like Crawford, Barbara Stanwyck, Lana Turner, and others to find appropriate leading roles. Crawford knew her career was shifting into its autumnal phase, but her personal life was making that transition easier. She had a happy marriage to her new husband, Pepsi Cola president Alfred Steele. More about that after the movie. From 1956, also with Vera Miles and Lauren Green, with a screenplay by blacklisted writers Jean Rouverol and Hugo Butler, Autumn Leaves. Autumn Leaves did fair business at the box office and generated critical praise, but hits for Joan Crawford at this stage of her career were few and far between. Although Crawford's career trajectory was beginning to decline in the mid-1950s, her personal life was looking up. Right before she started filming Autumn Leaves, Crawford married her fourth husband, a solid match. Alfred Steele was nothing like her previous husbands, actors Douglas Fairbanks Jr., Franchot Tone, and Philip Terry, in demeanor or in appearance. As the head of Pepsi Cola, Alfred Steele was as powerful, strong, and assertive as his name implies. What was the appeal, you ask? Well, to quote Joan Crawford, he loves me even without my makeup. And in the sack, he's a tiger. According to Scott Iman's new Joan Crawford biography, Steele was kind and loving, while also not being threatened or intimidated by his new wife. Crawford came to regard Steele as the mature love of her life, surpassing even Clark Gable. Coming up, Silent Sunday Night with Professor Jacqueline Stewart. She's got a romantic comedy from 1918 starring Mary Pickford, who also produced, written by Francis Marion. Johanna Enlists is next on Turner Classic Movies.
Next on TCM, Johanna Enlists, then Deep Crimson, and later, Purple Noon. Color us impressed on TCM tonight.